Hello, hello. I'm Amber Parker, and today I thought I would share my MS story with you. And I'm hoping just to share as others have, so others can relate with me. But this is more so for me. I feel this is going to be therapeutic. When I was initially diagnosed, February 11th, 2018, I put out a MS story that's on YouTube now, and I don't even have the login and password to delete it, but it's there, and you can tell I was nervous, and you can tell I was still scared a bit. So I thought, it's time now that I've lived a bit with this, 2 years now, and I've learned some things, that I would come back and kind of redo a story, an MS story, based off of what I've gone through in addition to what I've already mentioned. So as I said, I was diagnosed February 11th, 2018. I have experienced symptoms kind of through my life, and they were minor tingling episodes, something numb here or there. I did have a lot of muscle spasms, like my stomach would jump, as it would a pregnant woman when the baby moves. So I would have these random things, but I would just equate it to stress. I worked in the restaurant industry for over 13 years, so always, a high stress level. Take a couple Tylenol or something, and you keep it moving. It's kind of what we normally do. What brought me to finally say there's something going on is I'm literally sitting in my office, and I feel my hands starting to go, numb slowly. And like when you're at a computer for a long time, you feel sometimes you just like, you gotta shake it up a bit and just kind of, get the blood going a bit. But I did, and it was still an all day. And then comes the migraine. And with the migraine, I had it consistently. And I want to say like 2 to 3 weeks. Wasn't extreme, but it was the same nagging pain on my left side. I had a strong pain going from my head all the way kind of here, and then kind of radiating here in my neck. I thought it was sleeping issues. I'm sleeping wrong. I need a new pillow. There were so many things going through my head, of course, before you go to the doctor, to actually figure out what it is. So experiencing these symptoms, I finally kind of was fed up and said, all right, it's time to go to the doctor. Upon going to the doctor, as I'm sure many of you were, I was told everything at first. It was just stress, and then I was sent home. I came back as the headache, persists. And they said, stress. They said, your bed, the way you're sleeping, it could be because you're answering the phones. There were so many reasons that they were giving me to why I could have these headaches, why I was feeling some numbness and tingling, but no real thorough research or testing done on myself to figure out why. So I'd say about the 6th or 7th time going to the doctor, finally being referred to a neurologist who, of course, have you do the test and do things that all seemed, everything seemed, clear to the neurologist. So I was sent home after that. And then I think the final straw is one day I woke up and my whole body was tingling. It was just from the head of, my head to my toes, my woman parts, everything was tingling. And I went to the emergency room. I was in the emergency room for 2 weeks. After 4 MRIs, numerous tests, spinal tap that was brutal, was done freehand a couple times before actually being done, I feel, properly using kind of the x-ray machine. But after those 2 weeks in the hospital, the 4 MRIs, I was finally diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. Just a bit more about the symptoms that I experienced initially. I had to go back to that video I did, of course, right when I was diagnosed, so I could make sure that I remember exactly. But it was the minor headache that started, it was not strong, but it was just annoying and consistent all day, every day. And then it kind of radiated here, like I could press here and it would hurt. So that was annoying. Numbness and tingling on my left side that eventually started to spread. I had the muscle spasms. Like I said, it felt like a pregnant woman. My stomach would randomly jump. As my headaches started to persist, behind my eye would hurt, and my side was only my left side. So left headache, pain here, shoulders start to hurt. Yeah, everything left side connected. So even going to, get a massage, thinking that that could, do some relief with the tension that I was consistently feeling. With the headache though, I would notice, like, as I started to wake up, kind of my vision. I wouldn't say I was losing my vision, but things slowly start to get blurry on the left side. And I would say maybe that was optic neuritis springing up, even though I was never diagnosed with it. That pain behind the eye, and it was slowly becoming blurry and dark. And of course, the neurologist correlated that to migraine, or, there's so many things that can be intertwined, or can be, a reason or a symptom of something else. So it's so hard, to pinpoint what it's exactly coming from. But those are some of my more defined, or I'd say, symptoms that I remember at the very beginning. As far as treatments go, right after being diagnosed, my neurologist said, we have to get you on something right away. And honestly, this is even before the lumbar puncture was done. Normally they do the MRI, but they still need to do the lumbar puncture, to see the bands to confirm. But even prior to that, the neurologist said, let's go ahead and let's just start you on something so we can go ahead and start the, to limit the progression of the disease. And after doing my research, the one that I believe we discussed was Extavia, that I would be taking, that I had decided on. And I, ordered everything. Everything was even sent to my house in the cutest little kit, and I was ready to go. I had watched all the YouTube videos to show me how to do it, but I could not do it. Also, I think was horrible the day before, just being excited to start. You're excited when someone finally says you have this. Though it's scary and you never want to be diagnosed with something, it's like, okay, finally, this is what it is. How do I treat this? And with the night before the Extavia arrived, I, all night, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this. And then I started reading some of the nightmare stories, in the wee hours of the morning, waiting for Extavia to arrive, and seeing like all the rashes, and then learning that if you're JC positive, that this can become almost fatal to you taking, certain medications. You can get PML, and worrying myself. So by the time the Extavia arrived, I couldn't even take it. I had to go back to my neurologist and talk to him and say, if we can potentially try something that was less, or a pill form. So we did a little research on that, and then I was prescribed Gilenya, which I was excited about, and I started just taking a pill. You take one a day. You try to take it around the same day, and everything was going good initially to start. But I will say, a month into taking it, I started having, when I say like a foot drop, like initially, like I would have, like I would wake up and I couldn't feel my, foot a little bit, or it was tingling. But after I started taking Gilenya, I would say I would wake up, I could not move my legs. In the summer months is when I started taking, I would literally faint, and I would never faint prior to this, started to take it. So, it could be the MS flaring causing this, or it could have been the Gilenya. So to me, I just started seeing signs of things becoming worse too soon. And I know that my MS was not progressing that fast, or I didn't think it was. So to me, it was like, well, maybe Gilenya isn't for me. After taking it, things just started getting a little more scary for me personally. So I discontinued, and even stopping, you're not supposed to do cold turkey. You have to wean yourself, because, the medication gets in your bloodstream, and it can be very harmful for you. But I woke up one day and I just got sick of how it was making me sick, and I just didn't take it another day. I believe that was after 6 months. I was fine. By this point, I was simultaneously studying kind of natural treatments and a couple of diets, swank diet, OMS, anti-inflammatory things, and understanding that people have been trying to find ways to manage this disease naturally. So upon giving up Gilenya, I said, let me see if I can, bet on myself a bit. And after the thorough research, I truly felt that I could, potentially reverse this thing, or, at the least minimize symptoms without, all the side effects. So now that I, have been diagnosed over 2 years, and I've been honestly living a pretty symptom-free life without taking, any Western medication, I I'm just excited, to see what, the future will bring for myself. I know I'm only getting better. I feel like I'm only getting stronger. And when I say stronger, I mean stronger and better than I was, pre-diagnosis. I wouldn't say I lived the healthiest life before, just pretty average. I smoked in my past, and drank alcohol heavily. I worked in the restaurant industry. So you know how that goes. But I really noticed, with lifestyle changes, and not just like a changing of a diet, because it is a lifestyle change. It's literally trying to eliminate all toxin, um, and omitting that from your life in general, is what I try to do, from what I consume to what I put on my body. So I try to create this lifestyle around myself, that was brutally hard for me initially. But it's like, okay, first of all, what do I have to lose? And then second of all, I want to be my own advocate. I've been to so many doctors who just pushed me aside, or I was just a number, who was like, oh, that's not right. I'm sorry. Oh, that medication didn't work. I'm sorry. I wanted to study my own body. I want to study my own self. And given the research that I had done, had shown me that if you can potentially create the environment in your body to allow it to heal itself, that it could potentially do so. And I'm a living witness that this is happening to me right now. So, you know, post diagnosis 2 years, I'm doing great. Do I have, some symptoms still? Every now and then, when my cycle hits, of course, that's when things flare a bit, or, um, I'd say probably that's probably the only time, the fatigue hits. But I've learned how to, counteract that with supplementation and natural, products and teas. So I'm doing wonderful. And that's a part of the reason that I created the channel or the vlog, is being that I feel that I can manage this. I just want to share my journey. Maybe I can help someone else, or maybe, someone else can just relate to me, and say, oh, someone just like me, or she was diagnosed like me, or found out like me. I feel like it's so great finding someone you can relate to as we go through this disease that can make us feel so alone all the time, so isolated, especially an invisible disease where everyone can't see, all the time. And I'm so sorry, there's so many people where you can see and they're in wheelchairs and they have speech impediments and things. But for so many people where you can't see, that you're beyond tired on those days, or that you're having muscle spasms, or that you're in literally agonizing pain in your body, but you seem normal. I feel, as we share our stories and as we advocate for each other, we're only going to become stronger. So again, I'm excited to share my story with everyone, and I love listening to other people's stories. I love seeing the progression of people, and seeing, people, whether they're taking medication or healing naturally, like how are they doing now, and I plan on doing the same thing and keeping everyone updated with my journey and how I'm doing, and just sticking together during, these times. It is very, very difficult in the world. It's very, very stressful, but just trying to, stay at peace, and staying happy, honestly. So again, thank you so much for watching my MS story. I have more videos to come. Make sure you subscribe, and like this video. And thanks again for being a part of my journey.